Irving, Florida. Hello, everyone.
Princess and the Bear here. We're back at the Grand Floridian Resort, Disney's flagship resort, their stuffed bird cage of a hotel.
Because there's a new menu at the Grand Floridian Cafe.
Cafe name is kind of debatable, but let's go see what they got.
We had a cafe so we can reminisce or pine over 1900 Park Fair.
The place we've never been?
The only place we've ever been.
Let's go with some food.
Be sure to stay Floridian.
You heard the girl.
That's scary. I appreciate that our server hydrated us, but also I'm getting like mad Blue Bayou vibes because this whole restaurant has construction walls around it for Grand Floridian, like doing their refurb, and so we have the curtains down at all times, and it just like it is very much Blue Bayou because it's like a view that you could have but you can't have because construction.
Guideline would be proud. It's not breast milk, but we have salt and pepper shakers on the table. It seems so rare to see these nowadays, and I don't usually put salt and pepper on anything. I want my food as is, but for those of you that like to extra salt your food, or a little bit of the pepper, you have options.
I got a very lovely, decently sized Patrón Margarita. The Grand Margarita is basically the same thing, but they use Jose Cuervo, I think this was. Yeah, Jose Cuervo Gold, and I wanted Patrón because like Patrón over everything. So I got a Patrón Margarita. It's actually cheaper to do Patrón than the Jose Cuervo in the Grand Marnier Margarita, and it just tastes like a typical lime margarita. I'm into it. It's not as tart as some margaritas I had over the boardwalk recently, but it looked the job done. I will give it a 2.75 out of 5 margaritas. It's definitely shaken and not stirred.
The king of margaritas, the Patrón Margarita, not Patrón. Patrón. Get mad. It's Patrón. If you're gonna drink tequila to make your clothes fall off, accept no substitutes. No, I'm not taking my clothes off. It's not that kind of channel. Get your minds out of the gutter. I take off my clothes for stitch and stitch only. That's a lot of salt.
That's your own fault.
100% self-inflicted. It's a well-balanced margarita, which I like. I don't want one that's going way too strong. I also don't want one that's way too sweet. This is somewhere in the middle. That watery, Patrón, inoffensive sort of tequila flavor. You're there. You're there. So I wonder if there's a better tequila we get the princess to drink that isn't Patrón. It's still vegan. We'll look some things up. 3.5 out of 5 plus. So here we have the Pomegranate Paradiso, a little bit of pineapple floating in it, which feels like paradise to me. Now it's a fig vodka with pomegranate, so none for the princess because there's a certain kind of wasp larvae that likes to make its home in fig. Not all fig, but since we're unable to confirm, more for the bear, none for her. Cheers. It's like a Hawaiian punch if it was fancy. With a slightest hint of vodka. Not bad. 3.5 out of 5 plus. I think I actually prefer her drink to mine. She orders the best drinks.
Now we have our old friend, the gluten-free vegan roll. Warmed, but hardened, because it was warm. It was definitely microwaved. No earth balance butter, no hot garlic, no fixins, just difficult tearing. I'm not going to eat more than this because it's going to be terrible. If you're looking for jawbreaker level bread, this is the bread for you. For me, it's a 1 out of 5 breads. This is the kind of bread you don't ever want to tell your friends about. Ever.
Return of the gluten-free vegan roll. Sort of like Night of the Living Dead, but less entertaining. The gluten-free rolls are always a very mixed bag. If you get one and it's not piping hot, you're going to have a bad time. There's nothing needed to it. Hot butter, earth balance, no sort of dip, olive oil. It's just going to be trash. I'm sorry. They've never been great. Oh boy. That's what I imagine eating a sponge is like. It's dense and chewy. You get none of the joy you do for normal bread. There's not that homey feeling. It's really just tough and undesirable. I was gonna throw some shade there, but I'll behave. 1.5 out of 5 plus.
Now here we have another edition of a vegan crab cake. We've had several of these around the parks. The last of the one that we had was at Sebastian's Bistro. That one fell a little short. Mostly I miss the island cakes from Sci-Fi. These ones look super undercooked and I'm a little bit scared, but it's a nice little dressing around it. So let's just see if I take a little bit and I sauce it some. Oop. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna attempt to try it with a little bit of this salad. Does it crab cake? Yes. It crab cakes much better than Sebastian's Bistro. It almost takes me to my beloved tuna fish sandwich that I miss all the time. I do feel some of that Sci-Fi Diner Island Cake vibe, but it's got a little bit more of the fish flavor to it. So I think I like this a little bit more. So, vegans, if you miss the Sci-Fi Diner Island Cake, you can find a little bit of that here at Grand Floridian Cafe. Come here if you miss the island cakes. You won't regret it. 4 out of 5 Sebastians, vegan Sebastians.
I really feel like the magic number for crab cakes is 3. If you're gonna give them to me, I want to see 3. You can play with the size, but 3 just feels right to me. 2 doesn't feel like enough. It feels like I'm invasive. It's like a couple, literally a couple. Nice little piece. Looks nice and conglomerated. All mixed together, a little bit of the sauce. It's definitely giving a more sour flavor. I think it's more powerful flavor than some of the other crab cakes we've had. And a bit more mushy and soft. I feel like it could have been like seared a little bit more to give a little bit more like texture to it. It literally feels more like cake than like a crab cake. When it sort of melts in your mouth, you don't even need the knife. That's literally like overkill for how soft it is. But the flavors are really good. You're hitting most points here. Give it 4 out of 5 plus. It's a solid plant-based crab cake, but soft, not soft. Like, because it's probably in season, I cannot seem to escape shrimp ceviche this month. Keep running into it. I feel like I'm gonna keep running into it all month. So why fight it? You just dive in and fish for the sea roach. So you have a nice shrimp ceviche with some toy box tomatoes, a little bit of the avocado, and then some chili lime chips to go with it. It's a nice little dish with chopped up sea roach. We're just gonna use double the chip to like scoop some of this on here. Because we use what is provided to us. I have utensils as well. I just lazy right now. A little bit of the avocado. Let's build your own chip dip. There we go. Maybe it's the way that everything's distributed. I'm not getting necessarily ceviche from that. I'm getting like shrimp, cold water with fixins with overly large tomatoes. Not the best one I've had. You like shrimp? It's okay. The shrimp are cooked well. They're not rubbery or anything like that. It's just not rememberable. So forgettable. 2.5 out of 5 plus.
I got the new tofu curry. Now I'm kind of a little upset because our server assured us that our apps and our entrees would not come out at the same time if we ordered them, and that's exactly what happened. So we had to wait and finish our entrees, and our food got stone cold in the process. So considering all of those factors and my general upsetness over the, I guess it's going to be a miscommunication. We have the curry. It's a cold curry, so I'm not going to judge it for being cold, and the flavors are probably not going to be where they need to be because of this mishap. But I do see that the tofu is as crispy as like what you would get at Flying Fish. And then I'm just going to mix it with some of these veggies that I have here. Cauliflower and whatnot. I think there's like some pickled veggies here too. Hopefully it's just as good cold as it is hot. But like legit, I'm super mad because we got our apps and our entrees literally at the same time. So before we even got to bite into anything, they all arrived. And it really made me upset. Because it was like, that's spicy. I'm literally shocked at how spicy that is. I don't know if it's because it's cold. That's like an 8 out of 10 on the heat scale. I'm not going to be able to eat more than 3 or 4 bites of this because of how spicy it is, and I'm going to have to take it home and bring down some of the heat. This is intense. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 curries, and I don't really think that it being served hot or cold is going to make a difference because the spice is just so freaking intense. Who did this? I'm going to be surprised if Bear doesn't feel the spice because this is spicy.
A curry attempting to curry favor. I love a good curry, good Indian curry, Japanese curry, curry. I just like a good curry. There's a load of veggies in it. We have the broccoli, we have some peppers in here. There's some shaved carrots. There's some pickled vegetables up here as well, with a mound of rice in the middle. You can't really see it's kind of disguised there, but it is in fact some rice. We're going to cut up a little bit of the tofu. I'm going to try to load all of this on a fork. And we'll see just how spicy it can be. There we go. A good little station wagon. Like vacation station wagon. That spice just kicks up like a flame of fire. That's like it goes from being like nothing to like a 6.5, like almost instantly. Like intense. Like the restaurant feels and shades down. But that's a punch. Very fun in the mouth. Doesn't last long, it's already starting to cool off on its own, but it's definitely a very intense spice. If you were spice sensitive, I could not suggest that you get this because you're gonna melt your insides. It's a nice flavor, so the heat doesn't cover up the flavor of the curry. It would have been better piping hot, not gonna lie. Curry's cold, yeah, but those flavors, they dance better when they're warmed up and loose, like dancing, sort of, I guess. I like the veggies. The rice is a nice addition. It's a contender. It could have potential. I'm giving it 3 out of 5. I'd swear if it was warmer, it'd probably be over a 4.
I just want to make a point that there's only 4 pieces of tofu in my stupid spicy curry, and those 4 pieces of tofu were way smaller than anything that you could get at that $40 flying fish tofu plate. So really, if you look at it, flying fish is a better value, even though it's more expensive.
So here we have the slow-braised pork shank sitting on Orzotto pasta. You got some roasted carrots in the back, sitting in a jus. Let's go ahead and get into this monstrosity. I could have gotten the salmon. I've gotten the salmon here before, but I figured, like, why not branch out and get something different? Luckily, it's nice and tender. No knife needed. Falls right apart, as it should, being slow roasted. If it didn't fall apart, I'd be kind of worried. Flavors are wafting up towards the nose. Let's just see how it takes. It's a bigger bite than I wanted, but we commit to our mistakes. The pork is nice and tender. You can tell that it was slow braised. You can taste the flavor all the way through. Matches the jus, the Orzotto pasta. They're very good flavors. And again, it's a communication thing between kitchen, server, everything else. If it had been warm, it'd be kicking all cylinders. But it being, literally it's at from the time that we got all of our food. It's sort of a downer. I can understand where the price is coming from. I understand where restaurants are coming from, but this is what we usually like to space out our orders. But I digress. The food is good, but it could be better. That's kind of the problem. We had issues where we feel like dishes weren't presented in their best light. But when it's like a surface thing, it's kind of hard to refute. 3 out of 5 plus. I'll eat it. But which was hot. So here we have the Gold Rush, as given by its gold color. We have a 12-year Kentucky bourbon in here, lemon juice, honey, and then crystallized ginger. I don't see the ginger in here. It's probably somewhere at the bottom, but it looks like liquid gold. It smells wonderful. Ooh, that's interesting. This feels like a cocktail that would be at home at Floridian Garden. The honey with the bourbon is like a very mellow, sippable flavor. The ginger is there, but it's very light. It drinks like a honey-infused whiskey sour. And I like it. I give it 3.5 out of 5 plus.
This is your seasonal fruit cobbler with a spice strudel, raspberry sorbet, raspberries, and then a plant-based vanilla creme. Creme, yes, creme. So peach cobbler with the spice streusel, raspberry sorbet, and the vanilla creme. This is a whole melty bite. It is spiced nicely.
Yeah, you will.
It kind of reminds me of the apple streusel that we got from Akershus Breakfast, but a little like lighter on the flavor. It's not bad, but it's not like my favorite dessert at Grand Floridian. I would say I put it at like maybe number 4 or 5 on the restaurant desserts at Grand Floridian. It's good, but it's not like, oh my god, I have to come here for this. 2 out of 5 cobblers.
Here we have another one of the desserts trying to balance the hot with the cold. This sort of ice cream and some sort of sweet / savory dessert is a tried and true formula. But can they pull it off yet again? You definitely get the huge chunks of apple in here. You got the pieces of raspberry on the side, and this vanilla creme. It's like a white foam, almost. Peaches, you got the raspberry. It's very soupy looking, but it's all mixed together. I don't really get a whole lot from the vanilla foam. It's there, but it's so thin. It's sort of all over the place. Now, The mixture of the peach cobbler and the sorbet is quite nice. However, the piece of the peach cobbler is really large. The sorbet is really small. So in no time at all, it just melts over top. It's just a big mess. If they were either like separated, like the sorbet was on the outside, and you can mix it at your leisure, it might be a little bit more enjoyable. So it's not like just a melted mess at the end. But the flavors are okay. It's 2.75 out of 5 plus. Nothing to sing and dance about, but if you want to go for dessert, it is here. It's better than just a regular sorbet, that's for sure. I will always say that the worst part of being a food reviewer is finding food that just does not vibe.
I will say that the few times we've been to Grand Floridian Cafe, I feel like it's been like mediocre, but I feel like this was probably one of the most mediocre, and like I barely ate my food. Our service sucked, and there wasn't really a lot that we could praise about this restaurant, considering we were at a deluxe resort.
We've always seen consistency issues when it comes to Grand Floridian Cafe. It's easiest to rank at the bottom of every restaurant here at Grand
100%.
Floridian. And that's with 1900 Fair being closed. So, I don't know what your experience has been going to the Grand Floridian Cafe. Is this like, either if I have to, is it a must do? Let us know in the comments. Because maybe we just had an off night. If there's anything else you can see us do, of course, the comments is always a good place to find us. Hit the notification bell and see other videos like this, and
We have new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
we'll see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe. And if you don't comment, I'm just going to make Bear go to Citrus-Coast every time we come here, and he's going to be mad at you guys for that.
I'm mad at somebody for sure. But you heard the girl.
Peaches, 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 peaches.